My name is Lenah and I'm a VSU alumni. I'm from Georgia born and raised, but I'm from Atlanta. Not really Atlanta, the outskirts. So I'm from Douglasville, Georgia. I've been up there all my life and Georgia's home. I was a English journalism major and a minor in mass media. I graduated Valdosta State University in 2021, and I chose Valdosta because of the program, English journalism. Again, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, but I knew that I loved to write and I liked media, so that was why I chose Valdosta State University. I was heavily involved with the Spectator, the college newspaper. I was also with Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated, and then I was with NPHC on campus. When I joined the Spectator, that's when I knew I wanted to be a writer. I delved a lot into the writing aspect of it, whether it was breaking news, community articles, stuff like that. So I really just liked writing news, and it just was fun for me. So once I was able to get into it, I went through different positions. I started off as just a staff writer, and then I transformed into the campus lifestyle writer, which focused a lot on the community writing, and I just liked telling a lot of heartfelt stories, a lot of stories about people, because I like learning about people's stories. And then I transitioned into a dual role of the campus life editor and the editor-in-chief, which the editor-in-chief, of course, is over the whole newspaper. So that transitioned me into a leader and gave me a lot of the leadership skills that I have today. So the Spectator definitely shaped me to be the writer, storyteller that I am today, because even though I'm with a news station and I'm on air broadcasting, I still like to think of myself as a storyteller because I like hearing people's stories, and it's just fun to do every day now. I just knew that I liked to write, and then once I got into the newspaper, that really created that passion that I have for media. So just working in media in general was definitely a passion of mine, whether it was print, whether it was broadcast. I just wanted to delve deep and learn more about that. I've always had a passion to segue into the broadcast on-air sector of media. I can remember being a little girl in elementary school, being a part of the morning news cast, and it was like a cute little club. You don't think much of it then, but looking back now, I think that's definitely where the passion started as far as being a storyteller. And so when I graduated college in 2021, I was thankful to get a job right after graduating at the Thomasville newspaper, and that spoke towards the print training that I got here at the college. But again, I really just had a want to transition to broadcasting, being on air. As you see now, media is transitioning to more so of a social media outlet, digital format. So I just knew print wasn't going to be the end for me. So I went out on a limb and applied for the MMJ position with WAOB. I had sought out before, while I was in college, to have an internship at the news station, but it didn't work out like I planned. But being able to apply for that position, get the response back from the news station, even getting a call back, I was just really surprised, like, wow. So I got the call back, and right off the bat, the news director asked me, "Do you have broadcast experience?" No, I did not have any broadcast experience. It was mostly print. That's all I had. What we're seeing now in the broadcast universe is what we were doing in print. So, he offered me a digital producer job, and I took that on as a way to get into the door, as a step into the door. In doing so, I was able to transition, and I don't want to say it was a promotion, but I got another job as a content creator because I was also doing my own digital project, Lifting Up with Lenah, which spoke towards that broadcasting experience that I was still learning. The news director saw it and saw my determination to transition to a reporter, and he gave me the opportunity to then become a content creator, which was a hybrid role of digital producer and a reporter.
That's really good. That's crazy that you had no broadcast experience whatsoever, and now you're just on TV.
Yeah, and because even though I was a minor, I was getting those lower level classes. A lot of what I was learning, I already learned in the journalism, print journalism side, as far as writing, the research behind media, how it impacts our community, stuff like that. But I never delved into really the technological side of it as far as editing, shooting stuff, going out into those real experiences that a lot of maybe the upperclassmen or upper level people in the mass media program got to experience. I am still thankful that I was able to take on a minor in mass media because that just spoke towards my passion of media in general. So I did learn a lot, but getting out there and getting into the actual arena of broadcasting and on-air content was a different ball game, and I was prepared to take it on. Through my connection of how I was able to segue so easily into WAOB, the digital producer, Jordan Barella, he actually was a Spectator alum. He went through the same path as I did as far as being the editor-in-chief of the Spectator, then working at the Thomasville newspaper actually, and then he transitioned to a manager at WAOB. So I definitely owe a lot to him as far as how fast I was able to get into WAOB and get a lot of the experience I have today. But he's such a great boss. He allowed me to take on my own personal digital project that I do once a month. And what Lifting Up with Lenah is a segment that spotlights people and organizations throughout South Georgia who are doing good deeds. That speaks towards how I like to look at community service. There's a lot of good things happening. We might see a lot of bad things in the news, but it also is good to see good news. So the segment just adds content as far as there's a lot of great things happening, a lot of great organizations and people that are serving the community. And I wanted to put a spotlight on that. And so that is what started Lifting Up with Lenah. Again, Jordan just gave us a creative freedom. He said, you're gonna be a part of the digital team, you're gonna have your own project, whether it's a podcast, whether it might just be something print, whether it might be something on air, but you're gonna have your own project and you're gonna do it every month. So I took it on, I took it head on. He helped me come up with the name, but I had kind of the overall idea of what I wanted to target and what I wanted to do. So I was also reporting about 2 to 3 days out the week and getting that experience. And now I'm headed towards being a full-time reporter and just focusing on turning content not only for the air but digital as well. So being able to get that creative freedom and that outlet to form this project was also a blessing.
What was maybe like your favorite project or maybe your favorite class to take?
I'd have to say law in mass media, and that's such an odd thing to say because I think that class saved me as far as not only graduating on time, but learning a lot of the legal stuff behind media. When you think of media, you just think of the work that goes into getting the content, seeing it on air, seeing the content as a whole. But there's a lot of legal work that happens behind the scenes that a lot of people aren't aware of. So being able to do that class, I was set up to do that requirement with the journalism, English journalism side of the department. Wasn't doing too hot in that class, so I ended up dropping that class and got the opportunity, hey, there's a law and mass media class that can replace that class. Great, I'm gonna take that class in replacement so I can make sure that I graduate on time. So that class was also a blessing in disguise as far as allowing me to graduate on time and teaching me a lot of the legal aspects behind media. And I've seen a lot of legal aspects being in the profession so far. You have to make sure that you have the correct rights for pictures and images and contents and video. So that speaks a lot towards what I'm seeing today in the profession. Being at the right place or being on the sidewalk, that's public property, but you being in this store, you're not supposed to, stuff like that. Definitely seeing a lot of that in my profession.
Okay, so we were talking about, are you looking to relocate or are you going to stay in the same place?
So that always has come to mind, even before when I was looking at colleges. You think when you leave home, I want to get, at least for me, I want to get as far away from home as possible. And I've looked at out-of-state options, but again, money at the time wasn't right. So it was best for me to stay in Georgia. So stayed in Georgia, got that education, and again, was blessed enough to get a job here in Georgia. Georgia has a lot of opportunities. While some people may say that South Georgia lacks opportunities, I solely believe that you make your own opportunities. So I've been able to make a lot of different opportunities into newer opportunities And I'm an opportunity chaser. So wherever opportunity comes, I will make the right decision, whether it's in-state or out-of-state. I haven't really had the thought of, oh yeah, I'm ready to get out of Georgia. I love Georgia. You know, this is home. So there's not really a decision as far as I have to get out of here. I just know right now I want to go back home to the metropolitan area. So that's my goal right now, is to get to a higher market up in the Atlanta area. And if an opportunity calls out of state, then it calls out of state as well. I think my goal right now is definitely to become a senior reporter as far as the experience I have. I have had an opportunity to get the experience anchoring, but right now I don't want to say that my end goal is to become an anchor. You know, there's a lot of work behind gathering and creating content, and there's a lot of different opportunities. So right now, my overall goal is to stay in the media industry and keep learning. I want to keep learning, keep taking advantage of every opportunity, and it might not necessarily be as an anchor. You know, right now I'm going to say my goal is to become a senior reporter at a higher market, because I like doing the work behind collecting content. Right now I have creative freedom to make connections with a lot of people in the community, talking to people, hearing their stories. That might not be something that an anchor has the privilege of doing. So right now I'm content as where I am now, and continuing to learn, continuing to connect with our community, and sharing those community stories that matter, and getting those real people out to the forefront. And it's easy to say. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people have that goal of where I just want to be an anchor. But at the end of the day, the news is not about sitting and looking pretty and just reading stuff. You know, anchors have a lot of work behind just doing that themselves. But right now I do like collecting content and collecting information and being able to relay it properly to the people.
So what do you do in your spare time? What are your hobbies? What do you enjoy?
Woo, spare time. This job is definitely, honestly, a 24/7 job, because even on my off days, I'm working to build connections and get the next story set up for the next day. You have to work in advance. But I will say my sorority has allowed me to still have a little bit of a social life. I go out and support my sorority, support them with the undergraduate chapter in Tifton. And that just is the social outlet that I have right now, as far as also just spending time with my boyfriend. Yeah, that's so bad that I can't really say that I have a lot of hobbies. Like I used to have a lot of hobbies, like as far as playing tennis or writing my own stuff. But I feel like I love my job so much that it becomes a hobby for me to go out and make those connections, talk to people, get those stories out to the forefront. So work, don't stop, for sure. Keeping it all balanced has been definitely a challenge, but something I'm still working on and learning about each and every day. I feel like definitely scheduling wise, as far as priorities and what I make time for, because in college, you know, you're gonna have a little bit more of people keeping you accountable. As far as you getting out of college, you're accountable for everything. You're accountable for your schedule. You're accountable for keeping up with those college friends. You're accountable for keeping up with family. As far as being in college, that's a different story. So I think that has changed as far as putting the work towards keeping up with all phases of life, all levels of life, social, mental, work life. I guess I would tell my younger self to slow down and take it in. Slow down. Take in everything that you're doing right now, because it will not be the same forever. Woo, Lord, girl. I would tell me so much, but honestly, I wouldn't change the path that I came on, because it has formed me into not only the businesswoman I am today, but the woman I am today. So that would be something that I would tell my younger self, because we tend to not appreciate things in the moment, but appreciate them after it has happened. So, you know, I find myself saying a lot lately, or just a lot now. I miss it. I miss the earlier days. I miss what it used to be. But you know, everything doesn't stay the same forever. But I'm not gonna knock how I came up, my upbringing or anything, because I wouldn't be the person I am today. I would just tell myself to slow down, smell the roses, have fun, and get ready for a big change in life. It's definitely been a blessing to see where I was months ago to where I am now. I've gotten so many different opportunities, so many different projects that I've been able to look back and be proud of. And this coming from having minimal to no experience with broadcast, I've been able to learn so much just about broadcast, being able to get those opportunities, so I'm thankful.
Lenah Allen, WALB, your hometown news source.